All right, so here's Russ getting a little bit into it, and this is a longer clip, but the problem I have with this is like I know that he can focus on important things, and this is instead what you get when you have to talk. And David, I'll just prepare
Mhm.
you. I don't know. You probably know more
Wow.
about Baudrillard and the
Okay.
simulacra.
Yeah.
Prepare yourself because we're about to get heavy into
Oh,
that stuff. Because Russell does like
shit.
to
Let's
reference
go.
that shit all the time.
Of course.
Hours of conversation went into that, ensuring that TikTok, which is a platform that party seeks to ban, is effective.
Democrats do seek to ban TikTok in a really stupid and intelligence insulting way. It's not just Democrats, though, who are doing that because of fear of China, for instance. But that's a bipartisan issue. That's why it's actually a pretty urgent threat.
Used. You know that they're astroturfing the social media space, paying influencers to speak words of praise for Kamala, because organically those words won't occur. They're not even capable of popping to.
Now, Russ, is the simulacra coming from inside the Rumble studio? Because I seem to recall a little bit of something that happened here. Our boy Ronnie DeSant. I wonder, is this an authentic interaction between an influencer and a
Let's
politician?
see.
When we see, here it is, our boy. Yeah, influence. I hate when influencers, through some sort of financial relationship, say to maybe the publicly traded media corporation that they work for, all of a sudden are talking to Ron DeSantis, and not like in a "I challenge you, Ron DeSantis," uh, about anything policy wise. It's how brave you were for standing up on the vaccines, even though kind of testy now that DeSantis is a non-entity to contrast that with Trump. And so you've seen some of these guys like that went heavy on DeSantis, like Dave Rubin and Russ, sort of like having to figure out how to emphasize the vax stuff still without attacking Trump. I will just say, you talk about the hippie granola crunchy guys. Dave Rubin himself, what finally got me blocked by him on Twitter was clipping a video of him in like 2013 with Cara Santa Maria of the Skeptic's Guide to the Universe, talking about how vaccines are important and these damn crunchy granola ass hippies in California are ruining it for the rest of us not getting their kids vaccinated. Well, life comes at you fast. But here's let's go back to Russ here.
Hours of influencers to speak words of praise for Kamala, because organically those words won't occur. They're not even capable of popping to a shop and buying a tortilla-based snack without it seeming fake and affected. I'm of course talking about the Dorito moment, where Kamala and Tim Waltz attempt to look like a couple of congenial colleagues enjoying themselves in a shop. If this is the best they can do when constructing propaganda, Lord alone help us if they were ever granted the opportunity to run the world's most powerful nation. Let's have a look at it.
You see corn nuts over there too? Yeah, that's
There you go. That's the one. You see corn nuts over there?
Now, the reason this is trending under the hashtag staged is because some people noted that Kamala's husband there has already got some Doritos in his hand. And here's a longer video from this sort of desperate campaign, from this dreadful simulacrum, where all we're ever invited to do is fear Trump. Fear him. Fear Donald Trump, for God's sake. Well, what I would suggest is that it's difficult to conjure up fear for imagined spectres when we're so plainly haunted by a Kafkaesque nightmare, where
I have an alternative theory, which is that actually the problem right now is that there are pretty immediate, apparent threats that make focusing on a larger threat that Russell barely even ever wants to talk about, like individual Palestine, addressable. So Joe Biden, for instance, knows, and Kamala Harris now knows that a lot of people are going to vote for us because of what's happened on abortion. That's not fake. If we want to talk about like bureaucratic encroachment, that's a real thing that people are facing in this country. Is all of a sudden their decisions on reproductive health get decided by some fucking lawyers and a doctor who's afraid of some statute. That is a huge problem and a real thing. It's not some sort of specter about Doritos.
Wait, you mean that there are other forces at play than just a photo op in a gas station?
It's crazy.
I genuinely don't understand. So some people have been have figured out that this interaction is staged. Like, what is this? What are we doing?
And like,
I'm
sorry. Like, look, I have not
premise.
looked at this. I've not read into Doritogate. I'll wait for the book version.
Okay.
Just glancing at that video though, like him handing Doritos, he might not have seen that she already had the Doritos. But also, yeah, who gives a fuck, Russ? But let's hear. Let's see how deep he gets into this,
No,
and
but
then
I'm just
yeah.
really fast. What Russell Brand is doing right now, it's called, not to get too structural here. What Russell Brand is doing right now is called media, right? You see how there's a camera and a light, right? He's actually not in front of you in your living room talking to you, right? This is staged, right? This has been produced and pre-written, right? What is this allegation here that he's so? And in this case, I mean, the argument here is to not fear Donald Trump, right? Like, I mean, like the argument here is like, what the Democrats are doing media. Right. it's very weird.
It's crazy how mad he gets at this, and then like again, more of the dietary judgment comes out.
In bureaucracy facilitates further authority, where endless propaganda invites us to believe in a candidate that doesn't know what she herself believes in, and while clearly the powerful continue to benefit from conflagrations and conflict on our streets, surely then it's our own morality and our own deep wisdom and our shared wisdom that we can reach together with one another that can defend us from this extraordinary threat. Here's the real version of them acquiring Doritos, and I don't know, man, it looks like the whole thing is somewhat constructed. And didn't you sort of even see a moment where Kamala looked a little bit happy that there was a sort of...
There's a camera there. Like, it's just like, this is like a kind of like Plato in the cave thing. It's just like completely bamboozled by the shadows of the wall. Absolutely off of his rocker, man. What the hell is going on?
This is all coded.
No, at least Alex Jones has like a conspiracy. At least Alex Jones is like, hey, you know, this symbol on their shirt is actually implying that they want to do satanic rituals to get your... Russell's mad that they've recorded an interaction in this is beyond lazy shit.
Also, right? Like, when has a politician ever been authentic? I mean, are we fucking serious? Like, Abe Lincoln did not like. Abe Lincoln was a corporate lawyer for railroads, right? He wasn't actually like driving in the stakes. I mean, they're like, I mean, okay, but yeah, here we go. He gets very worked up.
Somewhat constructed. And didn't you sort of even see a moment where Kamala looked a little bit happy that there was a sort of a moment of something that looked genuine? Because there are no genuine policies. There's no genuine attempt to improve the lives of American people. Like, if you cared, for example, about regulating big food, you'd probably be banning Doritos. You'd certainly be ensuring that people...
Okay, so we've immediately gone from like, hey, the big government needs to get off your back and all this bureaucracy trying to get in your life. And all of a sudden, actually, no, it's Michael Bloomberg ass ban junk food policy.
I know what happens. Just like, especially Rich coming from the kind of medical freedom cohort, right? You know, don't make me wear a mask, blah, blah, blah. You know, you could take my fucking, I will say Doritos are my favorite. But
yeah,
you know, you could take my Fritos for my cold dead hands, right? Like, fuck off.
But actually, that's a through line with Bobby. Like, what's really disgusted me with RFK's candidacy, which is like, I have produced radio shows with RFK where he's talked about the horrors of these industries, particularly like with regards to certain obesity stuff and hiding evidence, whatever. I think that stuff's good. but he's made a libertarian turn now, and he's even been on the campaign trail where the problem with health in this country is overeaters
Yeah,
and unhealthy lifestyles, and that is I think, very dark and elite and
Oh,
misanthropic
absolutely, absolutely. It's very
turn to make.
misanthropic, 100%.
Yeah.
But again, you can't do this
Knew that the
in
majority
you can't do this in service of Donald Trump, who is like McDonald's number one boy. You know what I mean? It's so bizarre to sit here and
Right.
a lot of these kind of weird new right coalitions don't make a lot of sense. But Donald Trump cannot be the sledgehammer with what you destroy big food with. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, the guy who's literally ordered more fast food to the White House than anyone ever will or had or will since, like, combined.